Okie dokie. So let's make sure that I have good. I've unmuted myself. I mess up once and I will never trust myself again. So let's go with the part 11 of Digimon Survive. So obviously here there be spoilers for the Harmony path. I'll probably also mention what I had in my Wrath path a bit, so be warned that I will be mentioning that as well. Like, I'll be comparing the two as I'm playing this. I did that in my previous stream, which was parts 9 and 10. That's how it works. So I'm just making sure that I have shared this everywhere while it's loading. I have. That's good. Cool, and I've got my Affinity sheet up, but I'm going to not have it open because it reflects off my skin. So, yay. And yes, good, my Fitbit is on charge. That's exciting. Okay, so part 11, Recollection, where we're going to have a bit of Kaito, but I think it's frozen. Nope. It just, for some reason, I guess my controller wasn't working. Here we go. Okay, he did just, like, I'm pretty sure murdered the stalker, so that's pretty cool. I'm pretty sure Kaito's in a great situation. I don't think he's gonna get killed. I think he is you either kill someone or get killed. Poor Kaito. Like, I'm really feeling for the poor kid. I don't know, you shouldn't touch people. Like, you shouldn't say, hey, what's that? And then, like, start touching them. Like, that's not cool. Everyone's so mean to her. Oh, Kaito's not gonna like this at all. Yeah, that's really sad. Like, first a stalker, and now she's getting all these bullies. Like, that's... And Kaito's just murdering them. Like, I've got to say, I think Kaito's doing the right thing, because you shouldn't bully people. No, I think he's protecting you. That's fine. I mean, there are other ways to sort things than violence, but yeah, as someone who was bullied, you kind of... Sometimes bullies just do that for fun. I'm glad the Gazimon's back though, that's cool. Oh, okay, he's gonna beat up... Okay. Alright, no, that's taking it a bit far. I can allow, you know, beating up humans, but as soon as you beat up Gazimon, no, that's not okay. Poor Kaito. Yeah, this arc feels a lot more like the wrathful path. I know I said that in the last stream when I was streaming the previous chapters, but really this does not feel like Harmony at all. Like, I get that they're parallels to each other, but it honestly feels like they've mislabeled the chapters almost. Yeah, he's a bit like Masaru. I want to see Masaru and Kaito fight. I want to see them, like, just fight and then become the best of friends. They're actually very similar now I think about it. Like, they both have younger sisters who they beat people up for, because Masaru beat up Biyomon for his sister, who I can only remember her dub name. I was gonna say Chrissy because I've got Stranger Things brain rot, but no, Christy. Masaru be like, Christy, wake up! I don't like this, Christy! I'm sure there's like 3 people who think that joke's funny. I'm gonna tweet about it later. Oh, it's really sad. Like, I would have done the same if it was for Aoi. Oh dear. You became Plutomon. Like, it is kind of fun knowing what happens in other paths and playing a path, so it's an extra level of enjoyment. Or the opposite enjoyment, depends on how emotional it gets. I love all these characters. Even Aoi, I was kind of like, I wasn't super interested in. Like, I felt like she was the worst character, but then the raffle path, like, I don't know, that was pretty cool. Like, she feels like a more developed Sora. Like, Sora's always like the mum of the group, but only because people tell her that she is. Meanwhile, Aoi is kind of like actually acting on being in that role without anyone saying it. Oh, that is a cute little headcanon. There's a lot of really cute fan art coming around on the internet. It's all spoiler free, which is nice. But I can't wait for the spoiler ban to be lifted a little bit, just so we could start seeing even more fan art. Because I'm sure that all these artists are holding back on such incredible art from most of the game, really. Like, if you think about it, the first 4 chapters is such a small amount of the game, because that is only for non-New Game Plus, so it's not the truthful route. And it also not only doesn't include chapters 5 through 12, it also doesn't include anything from any of the endings. So really, that, like, the 4 chapters worth of stuff, like, is very little. So, yeah. And now I have to look into boosting Affinity, because there's just one more character who I need to make love me, so she can also have an evolution. So, let's get her to be my friend. But before, I'm just gonna check, what is she on? Ooh, almost there. Okay, I'm excited. I might be able to actually get her there. I was a little bit pessimistic there. Yeah, there's like, there must be so much Plutomon artwork, or let's see, what do I want to say to her? I'm gonna say, let's prepare ourselves, and she's gonna love me for it. How much did that go up by? Oh, just one more, I guess. Can I talk to you again? This is me just waiting for more Stranger Things references to make, because aforementioned Stranger Things brain rot. Who else can I talk to? I just want to talk to I just want to boost her affinity, that's all I want. But apparently I get 2 chances to do that in this routes. Where's Minoru? I love how everyone sort of accepted Minoru as the best character. Like, I've only seen people like No one's had anything negative to say about this boy. Like, everyone loves him so much. Like, I love that. Like, everyone in the fandom's just said, oh yeah, he is the best. Because he is. He's so happy. I love him. I read that as we need to punch Kaito, and I was like, yep, I mean, you gotta punch, but then also hug. It's kind of like one of those, like, you've got to sort of say, hey, you're kind of running off and being a bit of a jerk. We understand where you're coming from, but you've got to give him like a sympathetic punch. If that makes sense. Where's my girl at? Can I talk to her again? Oh, that's the same room she was in before. I'm not sure how anyone would have figured out where he's gone. And there's also a chance to get her affinity up here too. That's exciting. Kaito and Dracomon, I think it is. Yep. Kaito and everyone. Okay. Almost did a boo-boo there. Yep. Oh yeah, I've seen a lot of love towards Saki. Like, a lot of love, but I feel like I've seen the most amount of people loving Minoru. And Ryo, actually. Those who have finished the truthful route love Ryo. That's basically, I guess, the only other, like, not really spoiler thing that I've seen. I think I've also seen his adult form being drawn in fan art, but that's sort of one that I would have expected anyway. Unless it was just someone drawing what they thought his adult could be, which I'm not sure. Could go either way, to be honest. But yeah, lots of Saki love. No Professor love though, which is sad. Yeah, the thing I love about these characters is that they feel really realistic. Like, even though Ryo was kind of like I didn't like him. I mean, you're not meant to like him. You're same as Shuji. You're meant to not like these characters. But they make them, like, realistically, like, as people that you might meet who you don't like. And you can kind of almost see where Ryo's coming from. Like, you've got to put yourself in there. Oh, is this a... Can't tell if that's coloured or not because my eyesight's bad. But, yeah, so you've got to see where Ryo's coming from. He's got this giant bug talking to him. Which, like, I've mentioned in other streams, like, that's got to be horrifying. If a bug that's, like, I don't know, like, a half a meter to a meter in height, like, come up to you and start, like, going QQ at you, you'd freak out. If you're in a world with monsters, you'd freak out. So I can kind of see where he's coming from. And he's also clearly got some trauma going on. Ooh, we're going to the damn dam again. And we've just unlocked some free battle. And a mountain pass. And free bat. And let me guess, more free bat? No, Woods by... Oh, good, the library. I love the library. The library's my favourite place in the entire game. I hate the library. Ah, there she is. Hey, let me talk to you. I've got things to say. So we can get an evolution. I really want to see who you get. What, if I say we owe you a lot, apparently. Yeah, you're right. I mean, you could just, like... I mean, it's... Yeah, we owe you a lot. See... The internet likes to thirst over things. And I feel like the professor is prime real estate for thirst, if that makes sense. Is she going to evolve now? Why won't she... If I go to profile... Maybe it was only in the previous chapter that I can get her to have the event. Unless if I go somewhere and go out, will it give me the... I just want to see if she will evolve. Because I've got her to 70. Hey, evolve! Apparently maybe I can't at the moment. I shall try later. Where am I? Oh, she moved fast! Yeah, it was in the deep woods. Here we go! We're gonna have the evolution! As they say in my favourite monster TV show, Dogmons, to fight they do evolution. Dogmons, to fight they do evolution. Yeah, there we are. I think that's just the song. I think it's just Dogmons, to fight they do evolution. I think it's in Portuguese? I think? I don't know. Oh gosh! They're all so horrifying. Alright, evolution time! I think, anyway. I wonder who... I'm gonna say Anubismon, because Labramon's evolutions from Dobemon to Cerberusmon, and then to Anubismon. I feel like that would fit. I also can't think of any other Mega Level dog Digimon, other than, you know, Metal Garurumon, and that's taken. So, I'm gonna say Anubismon. But whatever it is, it won't be as cool or as strong as Plutomon, and I'll still probably go for Plutomon. Yeah, there are people on TikTok thirsting over Papa from Stranger Things, who is also just an old man, and the professor is much more attractive than Papa from Stranger Things. So the internet will literally thirst over anybody, really. What I'm saying is, the internet is surprising that it hasn't thirsted over Hopper from Stranger Things, who is much better looking than Papa. Like... the only negative he has is a cop. Like... okay, a woo! She said a woo. Alright, let's go. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, people are thirsting over Sans. Literal skeleton. Okay, who are we gonna get? Anubismon? I think, yay! I was right for once! I'm pretty sure, yes! Oh my gosh, Anubismon! More like body goals, like, but... see, that's what happens if you wear a full-length binder. I forgot to take a screenshot again. That's what happens when you wear a full-length binder. You get, like, a waist like that. That was so cool! Yes, everyone's joining at the best time. Welcome. Look at this, Mon. I love this. Probably not as... whoa, that movement though. What's the range like on the attack? Not as good as Plutomon. Is he as strong as Plutomon? Oh, at least it attacks multiple things. What a good boy! What a good dog! The gooderest dog. I forgot that they can poison. Surprisingly, I didn't one hit though. So... yeah! I was just about to say, we have like these, like, Labramon evolves into two gods, both associated with death. Like, Labramon, you edgy, edgy, edgy thing. Okay, Anubismon doesn't get like a thumbnail there, I guess. That's so cool. You know, I've never really been a huge fan of Anubismon. I felt like it just kind of exists. But now looking like, yes, that is a good mon. Oh, I hate Piedmon so much. Alright, now where are we going? So that means for my next one I should just focus on Kaito and Miyu, I think, and Ryo and Shuji, but that's in the truthful one. So in moral, I guess I'll focus on Kaito and Miyu because I haven't got them to Mega. That's my understanding anyway. But I did have Kaito with enough affinity, so that was cool. Like, I could have had that, but not on this path. No, that does not sound like Kaito. Wait, we're getting an no, I already had his evolution, didn't I? I'm just scared I'm just having a battle. A non-evolution battle, the worst kind of battle. Like, what is even the point when I don't have a shiny evolution? I thought we were just going to be affinity up. Excuse me while I take off my jacket, it's somehow warm in here. Also, side note, do these look like flowers or cut bananas to you? Because I thought they looked like cut bananas. Okay, who are we gonna have in this battle-y battle? Can I only have one other dude? No, two others, right? Oh, no, I didn't want you. I wanted you. Yeah, I mean, they're definitely flowers. They're meant to be flowers, but also, when I bought this shirt, I was like, wow, hey, look at this random shirt. I mean, I love flowery shirts, so it's not a bad thing, but yes, bananas, oh, you're right. No, some bananas are that yellow. Different types of bananas. I don't know who I'm excited to see who spoil character is. Oh, I don't want to end turn, I want to attack. Oh yeah, they're definitely flowers. However, my eyesight's not incredible. And when I got this shirt, I was like, hey, I'm missing but eating bananas because I'm on a keto diet. But I sure do like the idea of bananas. So I'm going to get this shirt. And then when I was changing, I was like, these bananas look a little bit weird. And there's like leaves on it. And then I thought, and I was like, oh, they're not bananas. They're flowers. So if you wanted to know how bad my eyesight was, there's your answer. It's not incredible eyesight. It's functional. I can, functional enough that when I took my driving license test thing, and every time I get my license renewed, they test my eyesight, and my eyesight's good enough for that. Speaking of which, I should probably get my eyes tested again because I have there's a history of glaucoma in my family, so I have to get a really. Has anyone in chat ever had a glaucoma test before? Because they're definitely the worst. Like, would not recommend. I mean, obviously, I recommend them if you've got a family history of them, and it's just good to have health checks. But that's got to be the worst test in the history of eye tests. Like, it's just not fun. Either part of it. But yeah, I mean, you definitely get the test, like, if you need it, but hate it. No, that's just healing, I forgot. Glaucoma is kind of like a disease in your eye. And the test for it has 2 stages. The first stage, they make you put your face in a little like machine thing, and they tell you to not blink. So already it's kind of like, you're telling me not to blink, but I'm like, you feel like you need to blink because you're told not to blink. And then that you're told to stare at a little hot air balloon. And then you've got one eye looking at this little hot air balloon, this little machine like this, right? And you don't blink. So you keep on staring at it, and then the machine goes and blows big bit of air into the eye as you're staring at this balloon. And then they go, all right, next eye. Look at the balloon, don't blink. And at this point, you know what's happening. You put your other eye on the machine, and you're like, and your body's like, hey, I know what just happened. That was awful. I don't want to do that again. I'm gonna keep on blinking. But you shouldn't. You cannot blink. Yeah, the hot air balloon test. It is the worst. It's just the worst. And yeah, so you do one eye, and you kind of like, you're able to kind of trick your brain into, hey, this isn't going to be that bad. And then it goes into your eye, and your brain's like, you lied to me. You were like Papa. And then the other eye, just goes nuts and blinks the entire time. So that's not fun. And yeah, and then they're like, all right, that was part 1 done. And then they put you into a room, and the second part of the test is terrible, but in a different way. So they're like, all right, we're going to turn off the lights and put you in this little room, put your entire head in a box, and they give you a little like button thing to push, as usually you'd do with buttons. And then they say to press the button every time you see a little like squiggly. Like there's a little, and it's like, it looks identical to the squigglies that you get in your eye sometimes. Like it looks identical to that. And so you're looking, you have to stare in the middle, but you have to press every time there's a squiggly. And that's in itself annoying, because sometimes you'll be like, did I see a squiggly? And they tell you to press the button even if you are like only 50% sure you saw a squiggly. So you have to click it every time you think you've seen something. So you click it, and it lasts for it's like a half an hour test. You're so bored, and you don't know if it's a squiggly in your eye or if it's, you have to click it, and you're kind of worried that, like, what if I'm just seeing things and going crazy, and they're not gonna give me the correct the correct answer, because like, what if I have something wrong with me, but I clicked when I shouldn't have clicked, and they think that my eyes are fine and they're not. It's a really bad test. Yeah, the second one is specifically for glaucoma. The first one's just for like checking the general pressure in your eye, which is just the glaucoma is a condition with the pressure in your eye, but the first part is done on other things as well. Oh wow, Sakuyamon, why? But the second one is specifically for glaucoma, as far as I'm aware. I've always had the hot air balloon test, but since I got a bit older, they've started doing the second test as well. They never used to do that when I was like in my early 20s. And as far as I'm aware, glaucoma does start to show up when as you get older, you're at a higher risk for it. My mum got tested fairly regularly. She got diagnosed with it a few years ago. I found out, not because she told me, because the optometrist told me. I went for my regular tests, and you're like, oh, so we're treating your mum for glaucoma, and I was just like, yo, what? And that was a weird thing to. I guess they just assumed that I knew. I did not know. I knew it was in my family. I knew that my grandma had it. I guess it has to do like what your other conditions are. Though I might be misremembering. I'm not 100% if I actually had the test when I was young or not, because I had a bunch of tests very, very early on in my life. But in my early adult life and teens, I never had the squiggly test. But I'm like 60% sure I had it when I was 5. because I've been wearing glasses since I was 5 years old. I'm sorry, this is probably very, very interesting and fascinating a topic. It's just like my eyesight health. Eye health is important though. Yeah, I've been wearing glasses since I was 5, I think. So I might have I had a bunch of tests in hospital for various things. So I probably did have that when I was younger. Oh yeah, absolutely. They would have to check the pressure in your eye after those sort of surgeries like that, because eye pressure is important. But in my case, I guess when I was younger, they were testing for general eye health. But now, because when I was a teenager, they weren't that concerned with that kind of thing, just the regular one and just the first part of the test. But now that I'm like old, like, or older, they test for it, though they don't recommend super regular tests for glaucoma until, I think, until you're 40, I think. But until then, they say like every 5 years is okay. So I probably, when was the last time I got my test? No, I think I got my last one last year, so maybe I don't need another one anytime soon. Thankfully, because it's awful. But yeah, if you are, like, even if you don't have a family history of getting having glaucoma, I'd probably still recommend getting it tested if you are older. But it doesn't really show up until you're like 50s or something. Like, my mum got tested regularly for it and she didn't get diagnosed until she was in her 60s. So it's sort of like one of those things, and it's easily treated. Oh, that's just the part 2 that you've had is just a general eye. Like, I'm not an optometrist. I'm only speaking from my own experiences in eye tests. But as far as I'm aware, when they put on the really ugly glass, like the things that slot onto your head, and they say like, "Hey, is this better or worse? Better or worse?" That's general vision. As far as I'm aware. The hot air balloon they usually do first, just sort of to check your general pressure in your eye. But again, I'm not an optometrist. I only know what they tell me. And typically they say, well, your eyesight's not getting worse. I'm like, thanks? I should hope not. I mean, I brush my eyes regularly, so I would assume that there's no problem there. Speaking of which, something that nobody told, nobody told me this until I was old, but and this is probably a really dumb thing to not get told. So everyone, like, feel free to roast me on this. I'm fully aware that this is incredibly, incredibly dumb. My parents always told me that you don't have to go to the dentist unless you have pain. Yes, that sounds just super stupid, but when you're told something by your parents as a kid, you grow up just knowing that like, think that's fact. Because they're your parents, they're right about everything, right? So, yeah. So I didn't go to the dentist since I was 18, and I went at the end of last year. That was, like, I was like, I don't have pain, I'm just gonna go to the dentist. She's just gonna look at my teeth and give me a teeth clean, and she's gonna give me like a few $100 bill to pay, and that's gonna be fine. And she just looked at me and was like, well, you have like 5 cavities and we need to check your wisdom teeth. And I was like, why? Why would you do this to me? She was like, okay, you can have those out in like, multiple visits. Actually, I think it was more than 5, but it was a lot. And she was like, oh, you can have them out in multiple visits. It'll cost you more though. And I was like, no, you're gonna do them all in one go. And she was like, are you sure? And I was like, yes. Because the only healthcare you actually have to pay for in Australia are your teeth. It's weird. Why? And they also, per filling, like, you pay the consultation when you, like, just to see the dentist. Just say, hi dentist, hi patient. That costs you, like, what, $200. And then you have to pay per filling. And then you have to pay for the pain relief, because you wouldn't do without it. And which really sucks. And then also she wanted to x-ray my wisdom teeth. So that's also a few $100 just to be put inside a machine. So that was fun. So yeah, so that's what we did. I got all the fillings. I have a phobia of needles, for one thing. So the way they numb your mouth is needles. It sucks. I hate it. I hate it every time. My mouth never goes numb. And it always sucks. So, for one thing, when she was putting the needles in to make it numb, she struck a nerve. And I don't mean like, you know, an emotion. She struck like a nerve in my face, and my entire face this pain shot up the entire side of my face. And that hurt a lot. I did not like that. And when you've got your nerve in your face, because in your face your nerves are connected to the eyes. So if you have pain go up through, like, if you have like a numbing agent go up through your nerves into your eye, you just lose vision a little bit. So I had a really bad time. As I mentioned, I'm scared of needles. I was not happy with the needles being stuck in my face, either. So and she also, before she stuck the needles in my face, she also asked me, hey, do you want the x-rays before or after? And I was like, oh, please, before. She did not listen to me at all. Yes, you can share, but once I'm done with my terrible story, which I'm sure is very fascinating. My story is probably great for everyone. But, yeah, so I was kind of like, okay, I guess we're not doing the x-rays first. And then, like, I had to get the wisdom teeth x-ray. And I couldn't move this face. I was dribbling. She said it didn't look swollen, but it was 100% swollen. She told me to, like, put my face in the thing to get x-rayed, but I kept on, like, missing because my chin was huge. Like, I kept on going, like, buffing into it. So that was just an incredibly painful time. And then I just went to the counter and I was like, and she was like, oh, please insert cash or select payment type. And then I looked at the final total and I was like, oh, good gravy. Oh, goodness gracious me, that's a number. And she was like, oh, we have payment plans. And I was like, oh, that's okay, I'll just pay it, because I couldn't talk because I was dribbling. Like, I hate when my mouth is numb. They shouldn't talk to you when you've got a numb mouth. Like, I was just trying to, like, not talk, but she kept on trying to talk to me, and I was just like trying to throw my credit card at the receptionist. Like, please, I can't talk. Like, you know, there's, like, I have to keep on wiping my mouth because it's really gross. Everything's really gross. And she was like, oh, do you want us to make a checkup in 6 months? And I was like, no. And I just walked away. After I paid, I just left. I was just like, that was an awful thing. And bear in mind, again, I couldn't see outside the side of my face, because she struck a nerve. But yeah, so that was my story. And now I think I don't like the dentist more. And one of the reasons why I'm scared of needles, is because of a dentist when I got a bunch of teeth removed as a kid constantly, because I had too many teeth for my tiny mouth. Oh, by the way, the wisdom teeth results, they're good news and bad news. Bad news, they are out. Like, not out as in out, like gone. They are out as in they've emerged, from where they should, they're not where they should be. But she said they're in such a position that it would be dangerous and high risk to remove. Not the words I like hearing from a doctor at all. At all. So she said that if they ever cause me pain for more than one day, I'll need to have, like, really intense wisdom teeth removal surgery. So that's future me problem. I'm not going to, just gonna ignore that until it probably happens one day when I'm very not looking forward to it, and that sounds very expensive. Because again, in Australia, healthcare's free. I've gone to hospital and not paid anything. That's great. Go to the doctor, whatever. The great service, it's free. That's fine. But the dentist you have to pay for. It's just like, like, teeth is something that everyone has. So if I can go to the hospital because I've been dumb and I've fallen on my rollerblades and I've landed in such a way that my collarbone has decided to just break, because that's what collarbones do. You land on them, and so your shoulder doesn't break, your collarbone goes, oops, and just breaks. So that's the thing. But yeah, so if I can be stupid, completely an idiot, just a dunce, and hurt myself, and get free treatment at a hospital, and they just send me on my merry way for free, I don't understand why when my teeth, which I've brushed twice a day, take care of, and still get fillings, and I also don't have sugar. I don't have any sugar in my diet. As I said, I'm on keto, for health reasons. So I don't have things that rot my teeth. So I take pretty good care of my teeth. I don't chew random tables and metal objects. So my teeth, they're happy. Apparently not so. So I don't know why in this country where something that everyone needs, being tooth care, I don't know why I have to pay for that. I feel like that's silly. It's just silly. Also, mental health is somewhat covered. You can get like some money back, but not all of it. So mental health and dental care, they're two things that are not free in Australia, and that really does not make sense. Everyone should be entitled to mental health care. There are mental health hospitals that are free, but if you want a psychologist or psychiatrist, you have to be at least somewhat out of pocket for that. And that makes no sense to me. And I think that's the end of my story. I know I went on like 10 different tangents there. But yeah, I was also saying why I'm scared of needles. It was because I had a bunch of teeth removed, not enough teeth in my, too much teeth in my very small mouth. I've got a small mouth, big teeth. See? Big problem. Very small mouth. So I had a bunch of teeth removed so I could have braces because I had terrible teeth. And I had a bunch of teeth taken out, and the man said that the dentist man was like, hey, I'm a dentist man, you can trust me, this isn't gonna hurt. And then he stuck like 20 needles in my mouth at once. It hurt. It was the most amount of pain I've ever had in my very short life at that stage. I was 8. So since then, and something that happened around the same time, is that I was in Thailand, and I'm not sure if I want to tell this story because it's a little bit tiny bit graphic. So I guess mute me for like 30 seconds. But when I was a kid, I liked to jump in things because I was a kid. I was like 7 or 8. So I was in Thailand and walking past a construction site. And I saw a big pile of sawdust, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna jump in that, because I'm 7 and 8, and I love to jump in things. I love to make chaos. That looks cool. So I jumped in the sawdust pile. And then I was wearing sandals, little like cute black and yellow sandals. I can remember because of how terrifying this story went. So yeah, I was like, I think I've got a rock stuck in my sandal. I feel kind of weird. So I was like, hang on, parents, I'm 8 years old, but I need you to stop because I've got a rock in my shoe. So I'm like, I'm gonna take off my shoe. I can't take off my shoe. My shoe's stuck to my foot. And then a beautiful man descended from the rafters of this construction site and was like, hang on. This Thai man said. He was like, okay, hang on. And then he grabbed my foot. And then from the bottom of my shoe, he removed the biggest nail I've ever seen in my entire life from my foot. I had been screwed into my shoe by this nail. And then he looks at it and he looked so proud of himself. He was like, I don't know how he knew, but it was clearly not the first time he'd seen a little tiny child jump in a sawdust pile and come out physically attached to their shoe. So yeah. I remember that part really clearly. And then the next part I remember is that I was in a taxi and my parents were screaming and they were holding like the man's handkerchief to my foot. And then the next thing I remember is I was in a hospital and I was singing the Digimon theme because I was really uncomfortable. And I was wearing a bootleg Pokemon shirt and singing the Digimon opening. So I was going Digimon, but I was crying while doing it because I was in a lot of pain. As doctors just stuck needles into me. So many needles of every single kind. I didn't even realize there were that many needles in the world. So yeah, I had a lot of needles then. I had every booster shot known to man. So I can't work out if that was the moment that kind of made me scared of needles, or if it was the tooth one. But either way, I'm also scared of walking past construction sites. So yeah. Anyway, sorry, Azu, you had your story. Healthy fear of sawdust as a kid. Oh. Like, I'm now scared of, like, sawdust piles. If I see one, I'm just like, there are, like, 20 nails stuck in there. So I guess Kid Me learned a lesson that was, like, don't jump in piles of sawdust or anything. Don't go near construction sites. Yeah, the nail went through the sandal into my foot, and, I don't think I needed stitches. But I don't remember. Like, apparently also my parents were asked if it was okay that an Asian doctor talked to me, which was really, really funny because I have only had Asian doctors. So my parents said that it would be more alarming to me if I had a white doctor. And they were right. I've only had one white doctor, and he told me I don't have depression, I'm just celiac. So, yeah. So that was kind of like a weird thing for them to ask my parents, but I guess it kind of makes sense but I don't think it would have. I had needles in my foot. I think I had bigger things to worry about. But yeah, sorry, Azu, your story. Except for my extremely, like, I don't know. It probably doesn't even sound that bad, but it was very traumatic for me. I don't like needles. I mean, I have piercings and tattoos, so tattoos are different. Tattoos don't hurt. Tattoos are not full needles. Phobias are fun. What else do we have? Wow, Kaito's up to 81. Saki's up to 90 though. I might actually get them up to 100, that'd be cool. I think you might get the other evolution when you're on 100, but I'm not 100%. No tumor, regular blood tests. Aww. Yeah, Brady got a blood test a few years ago, and he's not super good with needles. He asked me to hold his hand while he was getting it, and then I passed out. So that was, the doctor was like, oh, what you're not even getting it. So I can like completely understand your mum's point there. If someone's getting a needle, I would rather be outside the room because I will pass out. Like, I don't know. I wasn't even watching the needle or anything. It just had something to do with the fact that I know it was happening. Like, I just knew what was happening. So I just, yeah. So, yeah, phobias aren't, yeah, they're not fun. I have 3, phobias, and I think needles is a common one, and spies is pretty common. But my other phobia is, weird. Yeah, I've noticed that Sakuyamon is, really fragile. Because she got one hit by a monster before. I love how Kaito is just Masaru in this arc. I wonder if my theory actually does happen here. My third phobia, and this is like, it's kind of like, I'm scared of vomiting. In any position. I don't like if someone else is vomiting and I'm seeing it. I don't like if I see vomit. I don't like if I'm vomiting. It's just, either way, I'll have a panic attack. It's kind of like a weird thing. Brady never believed me until, like, I always told him, hey, I've got a phobia of vomit, and he was like, yeah, whatever. And then he got food poisoning in Japan, and I started having a panic attack when he was sick. And he was like, what is wrong? I'm like, I told you, I have a, like, it's not a good phobia. It makes me feel terrible that I'm scared of people vomiting, because I can't, like, it makes me feel like I'm being selfish if someone's sick, that I can't look after them, but I really can't look after them, I can't be near them. And it makes me just feel kind of terrible. Like, I just feel like I'm not a good person because I can't, like, I tried to look after Brady, and I did my best, and I was there for him, I cleaned up, and I was there each time holding him, making sure he was okay. But it was really, really hard, and I couldn't, like, I couldn't do that for a lot of people. Like, it was just really, really rough. I mean, I know he was having a bad time too. Yeah, it's not even that, it's not just that it grosses me out. I can't hear about it. I can't have it be on a TV. Like, for example, I love the Jackass movies. Can't do any of the ones where they're vomiting. It's just, that's just too far for me. Anytime that there's something that's like that, I can't. Like, it's just really, like, I just can't. It freaks me out. I mean, it's a phobia. It's something that is not, it's an unreasonable fear. But it's just, so that's my weird one. Like, I feel like it's hard to, like, whenever I explain to someone, they always look at me like I'm, I don't know. Like, it's a weird one. Also, it makes me seem, like, super selfish and like, I can't look after someone who's sick. Like, it makes me feel like I'm unsympathetic if they're sick. And I mean, I'm not. I'm very sympathetic. That one makes me, like, uncomfortable. Like, I don't like that scene. I really hate that scene. But it's not as bad as if it was, I think it's I Really Trust You, but I'm not 100%. It's not as bad as, like, real ones, like real characters doing it, or real people doing it. Like, if it's live action, but it's, like, if it's fake, it's still bad. I still don't like to see it. But at least because in Family Guy it's animated. I just hate that scene though. But that's more like it makes me feel gross. If that makes sense. I already went there, didn't I? Yep. Phobias are weird. Yeah, I'm wondering if that, like, Piedmon will merge with Dracumon. Oh, Numamon. Yeah, like, I guess everyone's sort of got a phobia. Like, no one likes their phobia, I think. No one is, like... Like, I mean, I know that people try to get over their phobias, but I don't... Like, I guess I'm better with needles than I used to be. Piercings really did help with that. But, like, when I got the, Like, I will never, like, turn down a vaccination or something because of my phobia. I will turn down spiders, I'll turn down being near someone with vomit, but the one thing that, like, I will not try to ignore, and I'll still get the vaccination is the needle thing. I will get over that. I'll still have it, but I will definitely have the vaccination each time. It's also probably my, I guess, I want to say smallest phobia. I'll still pass out, but I can, like, not have a panic attack. And I'm not, like, panicking really beforehand. It's just weird. It's just kind of like a weird thing. I always tell the doctors about it. I'm like, hey, or the nurses or anyone who's giving me a needle, I'll say, hey, I'll need to lie down for maybe 10-15 minutes afterwards. I pass out after I get a needle. And they'll always understand, and they'll prefer if I say it because they don't want to just send me on my way and then just have me, like, collapse. So, yeah, for my COVID ones, I just each time was like, hey, I need to, like, chill for 15 minutes. I feel fine now, but I'm gonna need to chill. And for the third shot, they took me to a really nice room with this huge, great, comfy, like, armchair, and they were like, hang out here. So I was like, yes, I will, don't mind if I do. Also, I'm not liking what's going on here. I feel like they're going to Jogress and become Bolt Baltimon. Because I know that he's in the game because I have a Digimon that evolved into him. Especially because I've got Vandemon. Okay, that's literally what they're doing. Alright. That's kind of cool. Hey, he's saying Vandemon now. In the text, because when he evolves, he just says Vam, but in, like, Piedmon's actually saying Vandemon. They're not censoring that. Oh, this is cool. Hey, so I think this is what's happening, and I was right, so that's cool. This is kind of sad for Dracumon, though. Because Dracumon's gonna become bad, I'm assuming. He's merging with Piedmon. I guess I was right at the start of the game, and I was like, what if Bolt Baltimon's a bad guy? I don't like this. And my bags are under my eyes. I'm hoping it's not a dark evolution, but considering the Harmony path seems to be, like, the same, like, as the Wrathful route. That's a good point. Hey, he said Vandemon! And now they kiss. Alright. Yeah, I feel like because this is a, like a parallel to the Wrathful path, I feel like it is gonna be a Dark Evolution. Oh, that's cool though! And no, it's not Jogress, it's Fuse. This is cool! For memory, isn't, Omegamon not typically, like, not exactly cast as a Jogress for memory? Like, I think that Omegamon might be actually classed as a fusion. Like, as in not a Jogress. It just jumps. I'm really worried that Bolt Baltamon's now gonna kill Kaito. Please be good. Don't turn your back on this. I mean, at least this time it's not the character fusing with their Digimon, so it is slightly different. Also, I just realized something weird. Labramon evolving into Plutomon just in battle now, for fun, for me, is kind of weird because Aoi's not there. Oh, that's not cool or fun. Dark Digidestined! I've always wanted a Dark Digidestined who was just like, nah, 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 kill the humans. Okay, yeah, that makes sense, that fusion results in a higher level. This is so cool. I'm not going to put Renamon in because she is weak. At least I don't have to fight Piedmon, so that's a positive. I love this game, like, more and more every time I play it. It's got literally everything I've ever wanted from the franchise. And I keep on saying that because I keep on doing things that I've always wanted from this franchise. Like, just everything that it does. I'm gonna boost that sound, Saki. Like, I've always wanted Dark Evolutions. Yeah, I got a Mega for Kaito after all, yay! I've always wanted a Dark Evolution that isn't just a slap on the wrist for the chosen child that gets the Dark Evolution. Like, it's not just like a, hey, you did a bad thing. It turns out to actually kill the chosen that was bad. I've always wanted that. I've always wanted an actual punishment for the Dark Evolution. And previously we've had it almost punishment in the form of the Dark Burst Greymon in Sabers actually reverted to Digitama, and there was a threat of Agumon not having memories, which, spoiler, Agumon got the memories. So it wasn't really a huge punishment, but there was the threat of a punishment. But that's the most we've had. Previously it's been like a naughty naughty, but not anything more than that. But I was glad that we finally got a chosen to actually get punished for getting a Dark Evolution. And then we had another Dark Evolution, which was the Plutomon one, which was also biomerging, which is something else that I've also wanted from the franchise. That we have had, but we haven't had it as much as, we haven't really had it since Tamers, I guess. And now we have an evil chosen child who is more than just like, you know, evil, but isn't that bad. Which is, like, Ken felt like he was evil, but didn't really do much. Like, he didn't really ever feel like a huge threat, is what I'm saying. Oh, that's cool. I want this box. And I also want to attack. Perfect. 2 birds, 1 stone. Okay, I was doing pretty well there. I had you down to like less than— Are you gonna don't kill anyone? Don't kill them. I like how he's actually attacking the humans. That's something else I've always wanted from the franchise. I felt like the humans never felt like they were in danger of being murdered. Like, I never really felt that for a lot of the series. Like, it's for any of it, really. Any of the seasons, I never felt like the humans were at risk. That looks so cool. Well, I was winning. This is so cool. Yeah, it is a mask. That is pretty cool. And yeah, I hadn't either. What a horrifying looking Digimon. Like, that Digimon just makes me creeped out. Like, what a great game. I love how they've put all these old Digimon in the game, but they've also put in newer Digimon who haven't really been seen much. Oh, it's so cool. Yeah, he's very cool. Okay, it's part 12? Yeah, I'm gonna play part 12. Because I know how I said in the last stream that I wasn't sure if I was going to do part 11 and 12. Depends on how long part 11 is. It's been only an hour. I can play part 12. I don't think any of them should have slept. Like, they almost got murdered by their friend. I'm glad that they're also showing that kids are traumatized by this, because Kaito saw Miyu die and is going off the deep end. 12 is the last year. Yeah, I'm just happy that we got to see original Falcomon. I thought that original Falcomons would just never be seen again. We have the Falcomon that came out a year later, which was in Savers. I honestly thought that we'd never see original Falcomon again. So I'm really glad that we got to see it in this, and I feel like it was in the card game too. Next we have to see original Kudamon instead of the new Kudamon. That's the next thing that this franchise has to do. yeah, I'm glad that they're having characters that see traumatic things and then act like they've seen something traumatic. Like, we don't really get that in Digimon. Everyone seems to be quite resilient, despite the fact that they should have various levels of PTSD. Like, I think Takeru in 02 had some trauma, but didn't really go super far. It was just one episode it was relevant. That they were remembering that, like, oh yes, this kid had trauma. Oh yeah, well with Miyuki it's different. Miyuki is more like, she's more possessed / not really Miyuki, and they're like, Miyuki's kind of different, and mysterious in her own way. In this case, Kaito saw his sister be killed, and has seen various people be killed, and is then going off the deep end and trying to kill everyone. Aww. Oh, Minoru. I don't know how they slept. Like, they had someone say, hey, I'm gonna kill all of you. Like, fight, like, you know, that the night before. I wouldn't have slept. Oh, Saki. She's so sympathetic. I love these characters so much. I should scroll down to part 12. Oh, there's a... Oh no, I think I just got a spoil because in this Affinity guide, part 12 was not the last. I guess there's extra stuff for the truthful route, I guess. There's only 3 options for Affinity in the Harmony road, apparently. So good thing that I got everyone to 70. Exploration. That is possible, yeah. How long did it take me to play through chapter 11 last time? Because that was the part that I struggled on. Because I kept on not being able to beat, what's his face? Piedmon. So part 11 took me 2 hours in my first playthrough. And my second playthrough it took me an hour. And part 12 took me an hour and 40 minutes. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense that it's 1 chapter longer. Makes me excited. I'm really excited for... Oh, what do I say? What do I say? But, yeah, so... yeah, I'm looking forward to all the routes, really. I'm looking forward to Moral. Because... people said that Wrathful and Harmony had more in common. I'm also noticing that there's a lot more affinity choices in the truthful route, at least from this affinity guide. I love this game so much. apparently there's more to do there. Maybe the professor wants me to talk to him. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that I have to go straight. And yeah, I have more people and more chances for evolutions. Oh, these are my last chances to get Affinity up, I guess. Oh, I pressed the button on the back of my controller again. I should say he's not alone, apparently. I mean, that's what Truthful should do. Like, it should make me like the characters that were kind of awful at the start. Like, that's just giving them character development. I mean, I feel like the Truthful route's gonna... And don't confirm or deny this. I mean, the credits kind of confirmed this for me anyway. But, I feel like the Holy Beasts are gonna have something with it on the basis that Fanglongmon is in the cave paintings that we see at the start. And the ending credits that it gave me had the Holy Beasts as characters, which feels like they should have edited out that from the ending credits. I felt like that was a little bit of a weird thing to leave in there. Like, I still don't know why they included that in the credits, because I'm like, I guess they're in another path. What do I have to say? Okay, apparently I only have to interact with that. Yep, they're the Holy Beasts there, hanging out. Well, that part was all the same, except for characters being there. What do I need to say to her? Can't shape the future, apparently. I guess I don't get a choice to talk to her. Maybe in the next, downstairs. I guess this is all their baby forms. I mean, I know this is the same as the other one, but who are the other ones? I know that there isn't... I think there's an extra... that was the wrong option. I feel like she does get 2, but I feel like everyone gets 2, so I'm not sure if that is her, I don't know if that means that that's her Ceresmon normal one. I'm so happy that Ceresmon's in something. I've always wanted to see it. Oh, it's a normal evolution for Palmon. That's dope. I love that. I love that for her. I love Palmon so much. Palmon's my best friend. I mean, I mentioned this in my last stream, but I don't think Azu was here for it. But I originally, when I was watching Colin 2020, I thought that each character would also get a Jogress. Like, because of that they got Omegamon so early, I thought that it was going to involve the other characters also getting Jogresses. So I thought that we'll have Phoenixmon and Rosemon Jogress to be Ceresmon, and I was really, really pumped for that. That didn't happen, and I'm really bummed. Oh, I just had the little, like... I just had the queer urge to buy more succulents. I don't know why. I was just thinking of plants, and I was like, ooh, succulents. Yeah. I think the problem with Colin... Apparently she's not giving me the option to talk to her. The problem with Colin is that I had so many theories that just were much better than what we got from the series. Okay, now it's giving me the option to talk to her and do the last bit of Affinity. But I think another good one would have been the two angels becoming, I think it was like /Angelmon or something would have been cool. Can shape the future. And I think that's my last Affinity check for this this playthrough. Yeah, I still don't mind about that, using... I mean, not getting to use them. See, this is different from the Wrathful Path, because in the Wrathful Path, characters were feeling bad because they didn't get certain SMSs, so there was kind of like, and so they didn't really think to putting on silent. And then I think it was Kaito that, not Kaito, I think it was Takuma that actually suggested putting them on silent, so nobody would be upset if they don't get any SMSs. So that's an interesting change. I guess Kasaki and Aoi there, and they're kind of like more reasonable. Oh yeah, that's right. We get to see the corpses. Okay, Miyuki's dead here, or is she alive? Okay, she's alive in this in this path. Well, in the Wrathful playthrough, like, Renamon is there, and then you see Miyuki lying on the floor exactly like that, except she's dead, and then Renamon just evaporates. And yet that's why I was putting the truthful path last, so so each of the playthroughs kind of builds puts down the building blocks for it. Also, I just feel like it would also be a bit of a step back to do the truthful path and then go back and then do the less good paths where people die. See, I understand why Kaito wants revenge, but I don't know why he's taking it out on Takuma and everyone else. Like, I don't know why he just... Like, I think it was just because the game wanted you to fight Bulk Boutamon. Not because they wanted... Like, it made any sense. Like, Kaito just wants revenge. I don't know why he's beating me up. Just go fight the master, like... I guess he's mad because he feels like we've failed you, but it just feels like because it's the game just wanting you to fight him. again, it's this in the Wrathful Path, Plutomon merges with the Master. And in this path, I'll have her. And yeah, and so that's Harmony. She's merging with the Master, and she wants harmony with all the characters. And this one, he doesn't want to merge with the Master, he wants to just destroy the Master. So not only is it parallels, it just feels like it's swapped. I love the little hopping down the stairs they do, like hop, 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 hop. Oh yeah, I forgot the corpses are like in my way. I forgot how annoying that was. Can I? Oops. Dank. Oh, 65%. I guess that's that Piedmon doing his job. I'm just gonna give him a bit of a boost. On a scale from 1 to 10, my friend. And the accuracy is 100% now, apparently. Oh, his scream sounded so in pain. I love it. I do like how in each path there have been 4 survivors, which is the same amount of, well, 4 survivors, and then there's Kaito or Aoi, which is like kind of like the characters who are kind of there, like not really there. But yeah, it's kind of cool that in that way, because we have these there's 4 holy beasts, so I'm always thinking about the holy beasts. Oh, I'm not saying about the Master wanting revenge. I mean, I'm talking about Kaito wanting the revenge. And how that feels like more in line with a wrathful route. I love Plutomon's running. Ooh, does not reach. This is playthrough number 2. Because I finished it. I finished the Wrathful Path, and this is my the end of my second playthrough. So this is, yeah, path 2. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, that accuracy though. Yeah, playthrough number 4 will be when I do the truthful one. He uses guns. It's so weird to see a Digimon use guns. This feels very Persona. Yeah, I'm not keeping everyone alive. That's the truthful route, which I'm not doing until I've done all the other ones. And I'm not rolling back anything. I've been following an Affinity guide for this playthrough because I didn't want the truthful route, which is the true ending. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't get Affinity for Ryo and Shuji. And I also wanted to make sure that I had high enough Affinity for all the other characters. So they could also have evolutions. Because my first playthrough, because I didn't use a guide or I didn't restore any saves after making choices, that the Affinity was not quite high for any of them. Oh, I should be wearing my glasses for this. My eyes are just so sore. I hope Kaito is good. Oh, okay. Yeah, I also just didn't want to put any Affinity points in him if I was letting him die anyway. And it feels so sad you let them die when you want to do the other paths. Oh, I don't like this. This is really sad. Oh, that was horrible. Oh my gosh! I don't like... Okay, I thought he was just murdering her. This is really sad because Dracomon's in there. Oh, this is sad. His voice is so good. This is so sad. Dracomon is just, I guess, dead. I mean, I don't know what you mean by killed off. It was kind of like... That's just part of the path. I didn't know that was going to happen, and I want to play all the paths, so... It's not like... The only ways you can raise Affinity and save them is in Ryo's case. By putting his Affinity high enough, it just puts you on a path where you save everyone. Otherwise, everyone's gonna die. Or just about. Yeah, at least Dracomon died not being a supervillain or anything. Is he just gonna fuse with just everyone he can? That's horrifyingly baller. Oh, this is sad. Oh, that's sad. Okay, he just killed like a bunch of people. He killed Miyuki, the professor, and Kaito. That is just horrifying. And I guess, yep, there, see you, Renamon. That's sad. Wow, there is a high death count in this one. In the Wrathful one, it was just like, yeah, it was just Miyuki and anyone else who's died. I mean, I don't know. Oh yeah, in that case, Gabumon died, but where, like, I'm assuming he comes back in the truthful path or whatever. Don't correct me if he comes back in moral or whatever. Don't say when he comes back. But so far in the Wrathful and the Harmony endings, Gabumon's just not shown up ever again. Which is just so funny. I don't know, all I know is that raising an affinity with Rio means that everyone survives. It just locks you into that path, from what I can tell. Yeah, Gurumon's like, nah fam, I'm out. I'm gonna head out. Never mind. Never mind, Google. Did you all just hear what Google thought I was saying? Never mind. It just looked up a book about a family coming to terms with a husband who's gay, and I don't know why my Google Assistant decided to it apparently thought I was asking about some book. Like, that was funny. Thanks, Google. I don't know why that happens every single stream. I don't say anything along those lines of addressing Google, and yet it just always thinks I'm talking to it. Yeah, I'm not sure if the microphone picked it up because the Google's like, I don't know, about a meter away. But it was just really funny. It was just like, this book is about a family coming to terms with a husband who is gay. And I was just like, I don't know what you think I said, but it wasn't whatever you just said. Do, 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 do. 1v1 me. Oh good, we're in the Event Horizon room. Love that movie. See ya. Bye. Okay. I'm so proud of him. Oh, that was horrifying. What? What are we just doing Event Horizon? I'm already home. Oh yeah, we were taken into the Apoclymon room. Marco Polo. That means my light is for everyone. Digimon. Digimon. The real Garurumon were the gays we met along the way. What a mood. Yeah, that'd be a really sad but cool ending. I kind of expected that from the Wrathful ending, but it was fine. The saddest ending is the bad ending, like, the one that ends at chapter 8 where you refuse to go back to the digital world. And that one is the sad ending. The mummy's boy ending. Grah! And I believe that means I love you in Dinosaur. You know, I bet Bold Baltimon is really into, Blink-182. Because I am. I never conquered, rarely came. 16 just held such better days. Days when I still felt alive. I couldn't wait to get outside. What the game? Well, yeah, Saki and Aoi are lesbians. They don't want to hook up with a man. Like... It's sad, but as Digimon fan Tyne Takuma taught us the way that always go back to the digital world. And yeah. Yeah, I feel like merging with the master is definitely a trap. Can't get over how cool the master looks. The D-Ripper looking guy. Barbossamon. I really need to talk to someone who's played this on a PS5. Because I really need to know what the loading screens are like. Oh, that looks so cool! I want that as a background, like a wallpaper. Oh, I wonder if this fight in this master will be as easy as it was in my last playthrough. Whoa, I get how many Digimon? Alright. Oh, no, not him. I can't. Did they? I don't remember them giving me this many Digimon in my last playthrough. But yeah. So the funny thing is that I was able to if I moved out of like line with the shot, it couldn't hit me. But if I was using Mugendramon, I could hit it, because it's like attack field is 3 spaces. Never, and I've got that song by Blink. I've got Adam's song by Blink-182 stuck in my head. Though I've also had that song stuck in my head for the past like 25 years. So. Never conquered, rarely came. 16 just held such better days. Days when I still felt alive. Oh, you edgy little guy. Never conquered, rarely came. 16 just held such better days. Days when I still felt alive. And went to get outside the world, watching them to try to wait till I get home to pass the time in my room alone. Friends. Friendship. Have I ever mentioned how much I love Blink-182? That's like, my entire personality is just really likes Blink-182. and it's been that way for 20 years or so. Yeah, I specifically brought out 2 Mugendramon for the same reason. Same as Spinomon, because that attack though. Never conquered, really came tomorrow, not such bad attacks. Fluidamon. Oh yeah, they became like more into it. Like in the Wrathful playthrough when I didn't get them to be like to get to perfect. You 5 to 30 seconds to choose your options of fate. Or just that that happened. Like I played a game that happened in. I think it was Fable 3. I think, and at the start of the game, it's like, hey, choose between like your like husband or like your brother or something, and if you don't make the choice, it kills both or something. I really didn't like that at all. Oh, the range is different, so I don't think I can use corners in this. Yeah, I don't like those timed ones where they make the choice for. I've never played a Witcher game. Oh no. I mean, I guess it forces you to have a guide up. Can I reach from here? No, I can't. Rage is poop. Right, my range is poopy. Range is poopy. I think that's also in range of the attack, isn't it? It's so funny how it just teleports. Teleports in front of you, nothing personal, kid. Oh yeah, you're right, the normal one does have more range, doesn't it? It's weird to me that it does. Those flying noises. It's funny how I have both Baltimore in my team. Wait a minute. So close. Nope, facing the wrong way. Yeah, see, I also have oh, it counters? That's not fun. Oof. I don't like the way this is going. Ooh, I don't like these cutscenes. He's just vomiting? Good, more loading screens. That's definitely what I need more in the Switch playthrough, is the loading screens. That's cool. That is so cool. I wouldn't say it was 30 hours, but it's definitely like, I don't know if it's better on the newer Switch, but the OLED one. I have an original Switch. But overall, like it doesn't, but it's not too bad. It's just the loading screens like between battles are kind of like not fun, but it's not that bad. Oh, that reminds me, I have more Airdramon cards that arrived. Enjoy my plastic. Another negative I have about this game is that Airdramon isn't in this game. But yeah, these just arrived. I thought I'd show off my Airdramon cards. Yay. Yeah, in my playthrough I also played like whatever came natural to me, and I was mainly wrathful from memory. Also quite a bit of harmony. That was like the second highest. So it gave me the choice between those two in my first one, but I went with the wrathful ending first. Yeah, Edgemon not being in this game makes me sad, because look at him. Look at this mon! I swear I almost have all of the Airdramon cards. I'm trying to collect all the Airdramons. I love his voice, it's so evil. Oh yeah, there's no 02 partners. I mean, I've seen Tailmon's sprite in this game, but I've never actually encountered any Tailmon evolutions in this game. Like the 7 adventure kids are more in this game than the other ones. Than Tailmon, rather. And, oh no, Patamon is in the amusement park group. But Tailmon is barely in this game. I mean, I know it's in this game, but not as much the others. It's kind of weird that it ended that battle after 2 turns. Like, just doesn't me fighting the master by itself, I guess. I love this voice so much. The voice acting in this game is so good. It's so Digimon. Like, it just feels like it could be part of the anime. And yeah, I know that Tailmon is only in the free battles, but it's not as important as the other adventure characters who get, like... As far as I'm aware, I'm pretty sure all the other ones get speaking roles. Tentomon and Gomon are just from events and stuff. And Patamon, Biomon, and Palmon are actually in, like... They actually have almost characters. But yeah, Tailmon just doesn't really have anything. Takuma thinks he's playing Danganronpa. Because he's saying, wait, that's wrong. I love how, like, understanding these friends are. Like, what good friends. Are we just lecturing the bad guy now? Yeah, I was just about to say, why are we just yelling at the bad guy when we have literal monsters who can do the yelling with violence? Like, I don't think that Baltimon's gonna go, oh, lol, oh, my bad. Like, they're trying to do a hero from Ghost Game. Yeah, you're right. Thanks, Baltimon. Like, oops, that meant to be a screenshot, but it was not. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, as soon as Miu died, I was like, Kaito, not gonna like this. And yeah, it parallels to the Wrathful ending. Like, someone died and then someone reacted badly to it. And then became evil as a result. But Kaito was arguably less evil. Because at least he kind of calmed down and he was like, oh, that's right. I made a boo-boo. Oh, they're only giving me everyone's devolved, but I'm not giving the, Why'd they give me that many Digimon if it was just not going to be a full fight anyway? I guess they really wanted me to survive it, so they gave me a lot of Digimon so it was impossible for me to lose. I guess? I don't know. I have a big owie on my hand. It doesn't really turn up much. Because I cut avocados like a dumb person. Yeah, it's a bit like, yeah, in Ghost Game, it's like, oh, what? People don't like to be murdered? I don't know why I didn't attack there. I definitely would have reached. Yeah, oh, what? People don't like being murdered? No way, no. I thought people loved being murdered. No. Can I reach? No, I cannot reach. Yeah. Though also, like, I mean, Dracomon is absolutely dead at this point. So I don't know how the fusion actually managed to stay, because the Dracomon within him would have died. Yeah, is that gonna reach? Oh no, but if I moved this way, will this reach? No, also no. I feel like most of this game is playing a game of will this reach? And the answer is usually no. Oh yeah, that's fair. Which is really sad. Can't get over how hype I am that Ceresmon Medium is in this game. Like, that's so cool. Love the sound of her running, it's so funny. Woo, 100% accuracy, let's go. Teleports in front of you, nothing personal, kid. Is there a corner I can abuse here? Yeah. I mean, I love the battle system, but yeah, in that case, that's probably my least favorite thing about this game. Yeah, it's not gonna reach. What about normal? I'll just have to move here, which is dangerous, but at least it'll hit. I should have talked to Ceresmon. I think I still can, right? Yes, I can. Let's have the girlfriends talk to each other. Girlfriends. Yeah, they're gonna defeat him before Mugenjamon even gets there. Maybe it's because they wanted fights to go longer? I don't know. I mean, some Digimon can get there really quickly. Like, I never have had a problem getting Falcomon into where he needs to be. And also he has the talk that makes other characters move faster, so that's not too bad. And you can always increase a Digimon's movement. Like, you can do that with items and stuff, I'm fairly certain. But in the case of Digimon with really, like, low movement, like Kunemon, I never was able to get Kunemon to fight, like, in a lot of battles. Just because a lot of Kunemon was just moving. And yeah, as far as I'm aware, the budget for this game was the same a budget that indie games get, is my understanding. And it was a fairly small company that had to rework this game, and they reworked it in 2 years. It had to basically be scrapped from what they originally had from this game, as far as I'm aware. So I don't know why we all reverted again. Oh, he's having a bad time? I hope that, like, the Digimon inside of him that he said that he can still feel are, like, fighting back. Oh, okay, Miyuki's singing. Oh, that's not... Okay, this is why it's called the Harmony ending. There's the Harmony. That's really sweet and sad. And now we're all... Even though we reverted, we're all up again. Okay. Oh dear. You've got quite a lot of attacks this time round. That apparently, but yeah, that's really cool. Wow, that was a lot. That did a lot of damage. It's still, why am I teleporting in front of them? Can I even reach anything with I think this is my Agumon Mugendramon. That's the worst part. I haven't even gotten him to be able to attack. See, look at the... Alright. Okay, I guess Agumon doesn't even get to attack this time because he soloed the Plutomon and Master Fusion. So I guess this time round Mugendramon does not get to fight. I still think that the Wrathful ending was my favourite. Like, I'm enjoying this ending, but yeah, the Wrathful ending was pretty good. The whole of the Wrathful path was good. Like, I really enjoyed that. And this just seems like the Wrathful path, but if some of the roles were stitched around. Yeah, I would love a sequel to the Wrathful ending. Like, I love the little freedom fighters that we got in the Wrathful ending. That was really cute. I'm not looking forward to the moral one just because anime path boring. Oh. These sound effects, my word, they are great. I mean, that's completely, like, realistic, the Wrathful ending. Like, if people did have Digimon, but only some people could have Digimon and the others couldn't, I feel like that's exactly how it would go down. Yeah, the first one was Wrathful. Yeah, that battle seemed a lot easier than... I guess because I'm higher level, I guess, but it seemed a lot easier. Okay, he's not even dead. He's just going pathetic at me, like... Oh my god, stop talking, Bulk Baltamon! Just take the L, my lad! Yeah, for the moral one, I've decided, because the game is... Except for the animations where I get Agumon evolving into the moral Digimon, so the vaccine Digimon, everything else will be exactly the same. Since I've got everybody to perfect, there'll be nothing new from the moral ending. Or the moral path, my moral playthrough rather. So, after this I will be playing the moral ending up to part... The moral path up to part, No, Kaito I still got to perfect. And that's... They don't evolve to Mega until... when you make the choice, which is where I'll be resuming. So I'll play my moral playthrough up to the end of part 8. Yeah, I'm assuming the truthful... Yeah, but Mega is after the choice, so I'll be playing up to the end of part 8, same as I did for this one, except I did before ones as well. But I'll do complete prologue to the end of part 8 by myself, and then I'll stream end of part 8 onwards, because that's when the differences happen. Like, the only reason I streamed as much as I did for my second playthrough was because I missed out on basically most of the characters' perfects. So there was more content to stream. And it's a good thing that I finished it all today rather than do part 12 on, like, in my next stream, which is on Tuesday, because then I would have had to finish up to part 9 by Thursday. Which is going to give me like 2 days. This time it gives me more days. Okay, so we're still... The worlds are still merging like they did in the raffle ending, but I still have to, like, tell people that Digimon are good, I guess. I think I got... how many did I get to Mega? I got Saki, Minoru... I think I got I think I also only got 3 of them to Mega. Kaito would have gotten to Mega, but he got to have an arc instead. And let's see how the world reacted to the Digimon. It's been a year, so it's been a year, but we're still all wearing the same outfits. That's fine. Okay, so that's more or less the same. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, the world's not on fire like the other world, but it seems it's not going too well for the people who got partnered with Digimon. I mean, I feel like the world's still not in a great condition though. If people are still being discriminated against for having Digimon, I think I'd be jealous if I didn't get a Digimon though. Like, I would like to have a Digimon. Oh, were we just experimenting on them? Oh, I don't like that. Who's this little child? How come she gets a cool character design? Oh, okay, this is good scientists. They're not, like, dissecting people. Oh, we're scientists. We're running experiments on people. Oh, it also says Q. What? Yeah, you haven't changed one bit. You're wearing the same clothes. Yeah, 1 year later, technology is crazy, but we're all still wearing the same outfits we were 1 year ago. Like, change your clothes, mate. Yeah, I don't think does the US have a world power position? Like... I'd be so sad if Digimon were real, but I didn't get one. I mean, I wouldn't, like, you know, be awful to people with Digimon, but I would be very sad. Like, I wouldn't do anything evil. I'd just be very, very sad that I didn't have a Digimon. Like, I want everyone else get, like, other people get Digimon. I want Digimon. I want a Digimon. That makes me sad. This ending seems like at least these people with Digimon aren't being put into, like, camps. Like, that they were in the Wrathful ending. Like, that was very, like, awful. Like, that's terrifying. Like, it's just, like, at least people are just being discriminated against sort of softly. Yeah, absolutely. Well said. Yeah, I would absolutely love any Digimon, even if it was a weird one. I mean, look, Saki got Vegemon, that's a poop monster. But it evolves into Ceresmon Medium, who is incredibly cool. Happy Agumon. I still think I prefer the Wrathful ending. Even though it wasn't like... It was a happy ending, but it was also a little bit dark. Like, humans who get partnered with Digimon get sent to camps and get captured by the police. I kind of like... That is exceptionally dark and horrifying, but I like that as a bittersweet ending. This one seems like... I don't know, we are experimenting on kids. That feels a little bit weird. Like, that's a little bit weird, yeah. I know, I don't feel like the Wrathful ending was, like, chaotic or anything. Like, I feel like this was arguably more chaotic because there were more deaths in this ending. But, I still prefer the Wrathful ending. It's still really weird that they say that the Holy Beasts are in this, in the credits, by the way. Like, that feels like they should have kept it out, and if you didn't get to the ending with it. I'm gonna skip the credits because they're the same. But, yeah, that was good. That was a good game. And my second playthrough of a good game. And now it is gonna let me start again. Kaito's Dracmon has unlocked evolution to Bolt Baltamon. If Ryo's affinity was high, maybe everyone could have survived. There's the tip about the truthful ending. And now we're at the start again. So that's it for today's stream. So I will continue on next Tuesday. Yeah, well, that's the truthful ending. If Ryo survives, it's literally telling you how to make everyone survive. The ending where everyone survives is truthful. That is, if Ryo survives, everyone survives, and that's all you have to do to get that ending, is you have to let Ryo survive. So, next I'll be doing the moral ending, which you still have to have Ryo die, and I'll just be selecting all the moral choices. So, my next stream is on next Tuesday. It currently says Harmony Route 12, which obviously that is not true because that was what we did today. So, judging by how I streamed the Harmony path, I'll be doing chapters 9 and 10 on Tuesday, and I guess 11 and 12 on next Thursday, provided I feel like it. If I'm sick or if I just don't feel like streaming, obviously I won't stream. And if for some reason the moral path chapter 11 is super long, I probably won't. And yeah, so yes, time for the Greymon. So yeah, I'll be doing all of that last one, the moral playthrough, but myself until I get to the end of chapter 8, which I will save it, and I'll keep the rest for the stream on Tuesday. So thanks for coming by to this stream, everyone. I've had a great time chatting. If you are watching this on Twitch, make sure you follow my Twitch if you haven't already. You can follow me on Twitter as well. Check out my link tree there for various ways to stalk me across the internet. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, etc. I'm still trying to get to 12,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So I have a week, because next Thursday is the 1st of September, so I have a week, or I guess 6 days at this point left. But I only need 92 more subscribers on YouTube. So subscribe if you haven't already. Tell your friends, tell your enemy, tell your neighbor, whoever will listen, tell them to subscribe. So yes, stalk me across the internet, chat with me on the LostinTranslationmon Discord server. That's also linked on YouTube and in various other places. I think it's on the link tree as well, so check that out. Yell at me if it's not linked there and I'll make sure it's there. So yeah, thanks for watching and thanks for chatting, and I'll see you on the next stream. Bye!